Look, we've all been there. You're looking for a bed frame upgrade and you start scrolling Amazon, seeing 100 frames that all look the same. You're trying to figure out what's a legitimate piece of furniture and what's going to end up in a landfill in 6 months. I picked up this Feonase upholstered platform bed to see if it's actually worth the space in your room, or if it's just another piece of flat pack furniture that's going to be a complete nightmare to build. I've spent a lot of time in my studio testing gear, setting up lighting rigs and building out workstations, and honestly, the foundation of your room is just as important as the gear on your desk. First impressions? The design is surprisingly clean. It's got a button-tufted headboard that makes the room feel a bit more elevated. It's got that modern, minimalist vibe that doesn't scream cheap dorm room. But the real win here, and the thing that actually caught my eye, is the storage headboard. You've got a dedicated ledge on top for your phone, your glasses, maybe even a small camera setup if you're like me and you're always looking for a place to set your gear down when you finally crawl into bed at the end of a long day. It's such a simple addition, but it changes the functionality of the nightstand-bed relationship entirely. Now, let's talk about the assembly. They claim you can build this in 30 minutes, and I was skeptical. I've put together enough IKEA-style furniture to know that 30 minutes usually means 3 hours and a mild existential crisis. But I'm happy to report that in this case, they aren't really lying. The parts are clearly labeled, the instructions are actually legible, which is a massive win in my book, and the hardware is organized in a way that doesn't make you want to throw the box out the window. Everything snaps into place pretty logically, but the real test for any bed frame, especially at this price point, is the noise-free design. Nothing, and I mean nothing, is worse than a bed frame that creaks every single time you roll over or try to adjust your pillow. It ruins the sleep quality, it's annoying, and it makes the piece feel incredibly low quality. What I really appreciated here is that they actually thought about that. They include EVA foam mute bars and these heavy-duty Velcro strips for the wooden slats. It's those little invisible details that stop the friction, stop the creaking, and make the frame feel like it's solid wood even though it's a metal structure. That is a total deal breaker for me. So, seeing that they didn't cut corners there was a huge relief. Then there's the utility. We live in a world where we are constantly tethered to our devices. We've got built-in charging ports, USB and Type-C right there on the headboard. It is insanely convenient to keep your phone, your tablet, or your headphones topped off without having to hunt for an outlet buried deep behind your nightstand. It's one of those quality of life upgrades that you don't realize you need until you have it, and then you can't imagine living without it. It feels like this was designed by someone who actually spends time in a bedroom rather than just someone who builds frames in a CAD software. Let's dig into the build quality a bit more. Is it solid? It's a metal frame with reinforced wooden slats, and they've got it rated for up to 1,000 pounds. Now, I'm not saying you need to test that limit, but for this price point, it's impressively sturdy. It doesn't feel wobbly when you move around, and it handles weight distribution really well, plus you've got that underbed clearance. If you're living in a space where storage is at a premium, that clearance is a lifesaver. It's absolutely ideal if you need to hide away seasonal boxes, extra camera bags, or just general clutter to keep your room feeling like a sanctuary rather than a storage unit. A bed frame like this checks all those boxes. It's aesthetic, it's incredibly functional, and it fits into a professional's lifestyle because it prioritizes utility just as much as it prioritizes the look. I've had a chance to really live with it for a bit now, and I'm genuinely impressed. The fit and finish are consistent with what you're seeing online. The fabric on the upholstery is durable, the tufting is clean, and the metal structure doesn't feel like it's going to bend or warp after a month of use. It's a solid, reliable choice for anyone looking to refresh their bedroom without spending a small fortune. If you're looking for a simple aesthetic upgrade that doesn't take all weekend to assemble, this might be the one. It bridges that gap between cheap and high-end in a way that feels intentional and well thought out. It's not often that I find a piece of furniture that hits all these notes: price, ease of assembly, noise reduction, and functional tech integration all in one package. If you have any other projects you're working on, whether it's home improvement, studio setups, or just organizing your space, let me know. I love hearing about what you guys are building. Catch you in the next one.